Hi everybody, this is video number 1 of a new project called Illinois Tech Corridor. I think it's actually called Illinois Research and Tech Corridor in real life. It's along one of the main drags out of Chicago, just south of O'Hare. It's not an exact replica, but it's fairly close. It's definitely inspired by the area. Some buildings are not in the workshop. Some I change. So this one here is actually meant to be 2 office blocks, but I didn't find any really good blocks, and I like these buildings, so I put them in its place. This is a big military hospital. I'm not sure at the minute whether I actually like it or not. I kind of do, but I don't know whether it's in the right place or not. So anyway, I was going to make this into a map first and then put it in the workshop, but I got halfway through it and I just thought, heck, I'm going to build instead and have a map for myself for once. So this map is not in the workshop, so I made all these roads myself first. There's a couple of things missing, like you can see the indentations there of a big interchange that I'm getting built for me hopefully by Arisandi if he gets the time. If not, I'll build it. Where did I start? I started down here with some of these office parks, tech parks, whatever you want to call them, and I've got the parking lot roads, but I'm using the worn roads type because I don't like the really dark ones, so they're nice and light. The mall is the Oakbrook Mall in real life. It's similar, it's certainly a similar shape to what it is in real life, but it's not perfect. Actually, in real life it's quite messy. It's a real jumbled mess of different shapes and sizes, and I just simplified it a little bit. I added these because I think in real life it's just another business, but I've put some apartments in here because I felt like a change. The golf course, I don't know whether I'm going to use these assets because they're a bit fluorescent. We'll see if I can get any better. If I can't get any better ones, I'll continue to use them. This golf course is going to get quite a bit bigger across here. I've still got to keep tinkering around with the river, the depth of the river, and that's tricky. I've been working on this suburban area here. So these are Moorfield houses. There's loads of different types of them. Some have got swimming pools. Those are, I think, level 3. A lot of them I'm using are level 1 and 2 at the moment. That's a school and a swimming pool, a few tennis courts. I think I've got this water at an okay level down here, but I don't like it that it's too orangey around the edge. But anyway, it's I think it's looking quite realistic. I'm going to complete this area next. And then what will I do after that? I'll probably expand down here. It's a huge map area, of course, 81 tiles. I have added some features down this bottom end here. There's some interchanges down here and some industry. We'll see how much I can cover of this map. Although it's low density, there's a lot of trees and a lot of car parks. I don't know how that will tally up the item count, but it would be good if I stick with this project. It would be good for it to cover a large part of the map. I may have to leave some spaces, put more lakes just to stretch it out. I'll see how I go with it. There should be a lot more traffic on the highway, but I haven't got the end connected yet down here, so pretty quiet. It's quite a flat map. So maybe I'll do a little tiny bit of building. Go for the Moorfield houses. I usually, oh, that one doesn't show up. I usually leave at least a 1 cell gap between them. Sometimes I space them out a bit more. If you space them out a little bit more and you put the tree brush on really dense, you get plenty of trees in between the houses like that. It might be too many trees. I can thin them out. See, if you have the gaps too tight, you can't get the trees to spawn, to plop in between the houses. So that's one of the reasons I spread them out, and also I spread them out so that I can make a big city without reaching the limits. So I usually put a couple of trees around the back, but I don't always fill, as you can see here, I don't always fill everything with trees. I'm using Springwood as the theme at the moment. Actually, I've just swapped it out from Cedar Peak, and actually this Springwood theme is really good. It gives you a good grass texture. It's kind of semi-arid. One's called not Belo Horizonte. That's in Brazil, I think. One's called Montebello, which is a theme that I think is actually quite good, but it's a little bit too sharp, but it shows up really good grass textures. And sometimes I use, what's the other one I use? Oh God, my head's in the shed. Wahiki, which I think is a New Zealand name, Maori name. It's Wahiki, but it depends what LUT you use with it. It can be a little bit deep, the green, but I actually have quite a fondness for the bleak LUT. So I'm actually using bleak with Springwood here. It just takes all the sharpness off, and I feel like bleak is quite realistic. Sometimes I put lush, but lush is a little bit bright for me. Anyway, everybody has their tastes. I've actually only got mostly dark green trees in this brush, mainly because most of these house assets already have light coloured trees, so you kind of get, with this method, you get a mixture of the light trees and the dark trees. So I don't want too many light trees mixed in with my tree brush. So that is a tiny bit of building. I need to add a pile more parking spaces. Half of these car parks haven't got parking spaces in them at the minute. Traffic's all using the middle lane, which is blooming terrible. I'll have to assign some lanes. I'm sure I've got the not the parking. I've got the road AI settings a bit wrong or something. See, not enough workers. There's nowhere near enough workers because I've